in another episode of In the City con Cristi, where we continue to meet incredible people that make up the greatest place to live, work, learn, and play, Doral. Today we're talking about Southern Command. Many of you have seen it. For many, many years it's been here, but a lot of people don't actually know what does Southern Command do, what is the impact on our community, and why should we be grateful that Southern Command is right here in the city of Doral. So today with me I have a very special guest. I have Charles Newell with me, who is the historian for Southern Command. And Southern Command just celebrated its 60th year anniversary. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Happy to be here.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you for coming. I know it was a little short notice, but we're really happy you guys were able to get here. And I thought it was important that we highlight Southern Command right here on our podcast. So a little bit about our podcast and In the City con Cristi. It's an opportunity for our residents and our business leaders, as well as visitors from our community, to get to know about Doral. What do we have to offer in Doral? Get to know a little bit about our community leaders, activists, residents, business owners, even the people that work right here in City Hall. So it's great to have you and to be able to share with Southcom a little bit about its history here in the city of Doral. And just like Southcom is celebrating 60 years, its anniversary this year, we as a city are also celebrating 20 years of incorporation. So a lot to be excited about.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, awesome. So tell me a little bit about Southcom. What can you share with us so that our community can get better informed about what Southcom has to offer to the city of Doral and how we can be better neighbors as well?
Okay. United States Southern Command is a unified combatant command, one of 11 commands under the Department of Defense. And as a joint command, it's comprised of military and civilian personnel from across the joint force, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, and other federal agencies. And just a little background, originally the command and its predecessor organizations, Caribbean Command and Caribbean Defense Command, worked to keep the Panama Canal Zone open and secure. During World War II, the command also established military training missions in Latin America, distributed military equipment to regional partners through the Lend-Lease program, and opened U.S. service schools to Latin American soldiers, sailors, and aviators. These enduring missions, defense of the Panama Canal and support to partner nations, remain today.
So it's still one of the most important key players in keeping the region safe and in really keeping our United States military informed of what's happening in Latin America.
That's right. And what our commander, General Laura Richardson, likes to say is one of our great superpowers is our ability to convene. It's just we bring people together from across the way, from throughout the region, to talk about the major issues that each nation is facing individually today, but collectively serve to threaten the United States.
Right, yeah. That's extremely important. So there is active military in Southcom every day?
Every day.
So how many active military do we see in Southcom every day?
So inside the headquarters building, there's about 1,200 people that work with kind of just roughly a mix of 800 active duty military people and reservists.
Right.
And 400 civilians roughly.
Yeah. So it's, a lot of people don't realize that it's an active military. It's not really considered a base, or is it considered a base? I don't know if that's the right term.
The Army calls it a garrison.
A garrison. Okay. So I guess the difference between a base is like there's residential and stuff living. Yeah. I don't know the terminology. So that's the idea is that we get informed on how it functions for you all.
We really have a small compound, but it's a world-class facility.
Yeah.
You've been there.
Yes.
And it's set up to work with many aspects of our federal agencies across the board, interagency partners, along with our partners from the region. So it's a unique complex that's specifically designed to do what it could in the smallest amount of space possible.
Right, and this year we also it's going to break ground soon, but we did the ceremonial breaking ground of the first residential complex that will complement Southcom and its higher ranking members.
Well, it's a mix from the lowest ranking to the highest.
Oh, okay, there we go.
So
I think it's a total of about 248 units in total, I believe.
Yeah,
Is,
I think that's roughly right.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't have
pretty
the
sure,
exact
yeah.
number off the top of my head, but, yeah, 7 of those homes will be for.
Right.
For
The hi-
senior
the hi-
leadership.
yeah, the senior command.
And then they'll go down from there, and so the majority of those are for lower ranked people
Yeah.
who really need
Some,
housing.
yeah, right, yeah, and that's always been an issue of Southcom in this area. You know, Doral is not the most affordable place, and many times, so we see a lot of these active military duty that work in Southern Command that are on post in Southern Command. I know you guys use like a lot of really key terminology that I may not get right, but those individuals are living outside of Doral in many cases because it's tough to afford to have the affordability here. Although there is some areas here, so I think housing for Southern Command was such an important component of this area and of the.
The housing project is huge for the command, and it'll alleviate a lot of the long commute times that people have to live a little bit farther out because of the expense of living
Right.
in kind of a
Yeah.
high rent district.
Yes.
If you would.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we agree, and I'm super excited to see that, and I was really happy to be able to be there and share in that very special moment. I feel like it's been a long time coming, and that was part of my my comments when I was there, because being a council member before and having just the interactions with Southcom, it's a discussion that's been taking place for a long time. So I'm really happy to see it actually become a reality, and I can't wait to see it officially break ground. Because I know that it's a very long-awaited and just a great service to those men and women who provide such an invaluable service to us and to our country. And it's something that there's just no way to appreciate with words. But we're very much grateful to have Southern Command in our city. You know, I've always talked about, we get a lot of new military families that come into Southern Command. I believe you guys receive new families or new military personnel that come in twice a year.
Well, a normal rotation cycle for an active duty military person might be a 2 or 3 year tour.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to do most of those in the summertime.
Right.
Most military people have young families who are in school, and it's just a better time
Mm-hmm.
to transfer in and out.
Yeah.
So yes, is your answer, but.
So I've talked to a couple of people in Southern Command. We have a military affairs advisory board here in the city of Doral. One of the things that I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to expand and do with Southcom is provide more resources and opportunities for those families to feel welcomed into our community. So I'm looking to do like a welcome night for them with one of our trolleys and take them to different restaurants in the area so they get to learn a little bit about all the incredible cultures and food that our city has to offer. So I'm excited to be able to work with different members and leadership in Southern Command to be able to make that a reality. And I think it's a great way to appreciate everything that they do in our community and welcome them into City of Doral for the time that they'll be at that post. So we look forward to continuing to be able to make better relationships with Southcom.
From the very beginning.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So talking a little bit about the history of Southcom and its 60th anniversary, that particular facility has changed dramatically. Even back 15 years ago, 12 years ago, I remember when I first started as a councilwoman, and even when I first moved here to Doral 20 years ago, Southcom was very different. It's always been there. How long have they been in that facility?
So I think we've been inside our current building, opened in, let me just pull it up here, I don't have it right off the top of my head. 1997 we moved to Doral.
Yeah, I was going to say 1997 was when you guys moved to Doral, but I think that facility opened like in 2008. No, it was later than that, 2012, 13?
Yeah, 2012. So
Yeah.
we did, the last 10 years or so in the new building.
Yes.
Roughly. And
I remember when
said, it was
33rd didn't
specifically
even
designed-
have, there was no access even through 33rd. 33rd were dead ends at 97th Avenue and a little closer to 87th Avenue. There was just no way to even cross through there. So opening up all that area, and I think that's when people started to really realize that this facility was in our city. But it grew. It was a much smaller building.
Yeah, it's impressive when you drive by it now.
Yeah.
It has a great presence.
Absolutely.
It doesn't take anything away from Doral.
I think it's a great addition to the city and very well kept, and I mean, we're really excited that that it continues to be here in our community and provide such an important presence and force, which is something so critical for the regions that it protects.
So one of the questions you had,
Yes.
you had sent over was, why Doral? Why is it so
Yeah.
important? What's the benefit of being here?
There was talks at one point from moving it from Doral. I think brief.
It's an absolutely perfect spot for the command because it's a hub to get to and from the region.
Yeah.
And not just for our leadership to go visit and to coordinate and collaborate, but for them to come here. And so you see a lot of that. It's the convening power I was talking about.
Yeah.
Traveling to and from Miami is much easier than it is in a lot of different places. I mean, we have phenomenal infrastructure here. So
Yeah.
that's one of the huge benefits,
Yes.
both to the command, and it's just a win-win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Charles, how long have you been with?
I've been with Southcom since October,
Okay.
so I'm kind of new here still.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So one of the questions that we had are, what are some of the primary security challenges and threats that the U.S. Southern Command faces on the region it oversees?
Okay, great question. There are no shortage of threats in the region, and no region impacts the United States more directly than the Western Hemisphere. Today, the primary threats in the region stem from the predatory economic practices and disinformation campaigns of some state actors in the region. Both serve to gain influence over local governments and populations and to weaken democratic institutions. Our own national security strategy states, autocrats are working overtime to undermine democracy. We see this right here in our own hemisphere. Malign actors like the People's Republic of China and Russia are aggressively exerting influence over our democratic neighbors. Weakened governments tend to underserve their populations. Add in the effects of COVID, natural disasters, climate change, we quickly get to things like irregular migration, which we know is a
huge impact, yeah.
national issue. And not just for our nation, but for several in our region. Other major challenges, transnational criminal organizations, illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, illicit trafficking of people, drugs, and weapons, illegal mining and logging. I mean, you want me to go on?
Yeah, I think it's important that people know.
We could dive into each one of those topics, but they're very hard problems,
Yeah.
each one of them in their own. So we work with our allies and partners to improve security and advance democratic ideals and to promote peace and security and prosperity in the hemisphere. And our presence and our proximity absolutely matter. And General Richardson likes to call this, our integrated efforts with our partners and allies, team democracy. And we recently did an exercise with Panama, and the Panamanian Minister of Security stated, individually we are strong, but together we are invincible.
And that's so
That's
true.
a pretty strong statement.
So let me ask you this. One of the questions that we had, and we've gotten in the past, is being that Southern Command is in our city and really offers such a benefit of understanding exactly what we're talking about right now, which is its importance in the region for creating, for keeping security and really, information, data collection too. Can students in schools visit Southern Command? Is there a collaboration that exists so that our schools get to learn more about what Southern Command does in our city and what it offers? Also, encouraging and incentivizing students who maybe want to go into the military.
So I would say absolutely yes, there is. So we have something called the Pathway Internships, and it's really with institutions of higher learning. But we have local colleges and universities participate both in paid and voluntarily internships within the command. And then there's a lot of, I just said, the higher education opportunities. There's a lot of coursework that involves deep dive studying into the region. And a lot of times we will present a school or a class with a problem set and let them do their research independently of the military and offer us, or provide them the opportunity to present us with their findings.
Yeah.
And it's a great collaboration. It's unlike any one I've ever seen. And the benefit is both to the institution, the community, and the command, Department of Defense, United States, and whatever partner nation we're working with.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, for giving us a little bit of insight on Southern Command's importance within our community, within this region. We're so excited that it's celebrated its 60th anniversary. We look forward to continue to celebrate anniversaries together. Is there anything else you want to let us know? Something you think that's important for our community to know about Southern Command? Maybe something somebody doesn't know, besides the fact that it has its own basketball court. Some people didn't know that, I guarantee you.
Well, we really wouldn't be a military, garrison.
Garrison,
without some kind of,
sports
physical training.
sports facility.
That's right. That's right.
And we've done tournaments and stuff in there with our police department and Southern Command, and so it's great to be able to have that partnership too.
So for me personally, being somewhat new here, it is overwhelming when you first come here. I like the initiative that your office is getting ready to implement. I think it'll make a big impact.
Yeah.
Because it's overwhelming when you first come here, especially if you come from a smaller town, or there's no place like Miami.
Where are you coming from?
No place like Doral. I transferred here from Destin, Florida.
Oh, I was just looking at Destin online. It's got beautiful beaches. I had never even realized how beautiful the beaches there are.
It's like a lot of Florida.
Yeah.
It's an incredible place to live.
Okay, but you're still coming from Florida. That's crazy that you just said. It's like you're coming from another
Feels like a different. It
feels like another country.
Like a different area altogether.
That's funny. I'm sorry.
And the diaspora, the community, the people. There's such a variety.
Yeah, we've got a lot of flavor.
And the diversity here is real, and it's one of our strengths. It's just like in uniform with our people. It's absolutely one of our strengths, and I think it's one of Miami's strengths and one of Doral's strengths. So.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to be able to provide that. I'm working on that, and I want to make you all feel at home here. I know that we have a lot of passion and rhythm and drive to, sometimes we're a little maybe too forward, but it comes from a place of love. Comes from a place of love. So we welcome you with open arms. Thank you for agreeing to be here. Please send General Richardson my love, and hopefully I can have her on soon as well, and we can continue to share the incredible impacts and the service that Southern Command and all its military personnel provide to the security and safety of our nation, of our country, and of our city. So thank you very much for being here. Very much appreciate you, and it won't be the last time we see Southern Command here, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us for another episode of In the City con Christi, where we continue to meet all the incredible people that make up the greatest place to live, work, learn, and play, Doral. Join us again next time.